They always say that during a gold rush, the people who make the real money are the ones selling the shovels. But right now, in the middle of this massive artificial intelligence gold rush, we're seeing this fascinating, honestly unbelievable irony. The corporate giants selling the virtual shovels, the AI models themselves, are literally struggling to break even. But meanwhile, the everyday miners using those tools are striking it rich right from their laptops. Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're going to unpack the wild economics of artificial intelligence to figure out exactly why this is happening, and more importantly, what it means for you.
Okay, let's just dive right into this staggering number, $14 billion. Just let that sink in for a second. That is the projected financial loss for OpenAI by the year 2026. And this number, it gets right to the heart of the underlying problem with generative AI today, which is that the operational costs are just astronomical. I mean, when you've got platforms reaching hundreds of millions of users in record time, the computing power you need to keep those servers from melting down creates a financial sinkhole. And traditional subscription models, they just aren't covering it.
So that brings us to the core juxtaposition of our explainer today. On one side, you've got these multi-billion-dollar tech behemoths desperately trying to stop the financial bleeding and figure out how to turn a profit on the most advanced technology in human history. But on the flip side, you have everyday creators sitting at home, quietly making cash by prompting these exact same AI platforms to generate assets for them, things like intricate coloring pages, logos, and custom graphics.
So here is how we're going to break this down today. First, we'll look at the AI profit paradox, and then the corporate monetization struggle. Next, we'll get into the compromise effect, followed by the risk of intrusive ads. Finally, we'll check out how everyday users profit, and wrap up with the future AI economy.
All right, kicking things off with Section 1, the AI profit paradox. So why exactly are these companies bleeding so much cash when their products are wildly popular? Well, it all comes down to sheer energy costs. A single generative AI query actually costs up to 10 times more than a standard internet search. 10 times. To put that into perspective, industry analysts point out that just one single query to a leading AI chatbot consumes the equivalent electricity of running a light bulb for 20 uninterrupted minutes. Now, multiply that by billions of queries a day, and you quickly realize why offering these unrestricted free tiers is just fundamentally unsustainable for the whole AI industry. Moving on to Section 2, the corporate monetization struggle. These companies are absolutely terrified of alienating their user base, right? Especially since roughly 98% of people are currently using AI for completely free. So what's really interesting about this framework is how it attempts to solve that corporate dilemma. Researchers have identified 4 primary monetization models for Gen AI. You've got Model 1, which is a restricted free service that uses an older engine. Then Model 2, a free ad-supported tier with the newest capabilities. Model 3 is an ad-supported tier but paired with a low subscription fee. And finally, Model 4 is your classic high-fee premium subscription with 0 ads. The billion-dollar question for these companies is, which of these models actually works? That brings us to Section 3, the compromise effect. To figure out how to price these tools, companies have to walk this really tricky psychological tightrope. Enter a fascinating cognitive bias known as the compromise effect. Basically, it means that as humans, we usually prefer a middle ground option to avoid extremes. We like playing it safe. But in recent studies, when AI platforms introduced a single ad-supported tier as a middle option between free and expensive, something crazy happened. It successfully pushed free users to upgrade, which is great for the company, but ironically, it caused paying subscribers to downgrade. So they basically cannibalized their own subscription revenue. So how do companies fix this massive revenue leak? The solution, which is backed up by behavioral data, is to actually introduce multiple compromise models. By offering 2 competing middle options, like an ad-supported tier and an ad plus low fee tier, the difficulty of making a choice increases just enough for the user. This little bit of added complexity effectively keeps your paying subscribers locked into their premium plans while still providing an attractive, low-risk stepping stone that gets free users to upgrade. It is a brilliant bit of psychological design. Next up is Section 4, the risk of intrusive ads. Here's the thing, though. Introducing ads into conversational AI isn't as simple as just slapping a banner on a web page. I want you to imagine this for a second. You are deep in a brainstorming session. You're going back and forth with an AI, the ideas are flowing, you're building a business plan, and then suddenly, an ad totally interrupts the chat. You have to sit there and wait 15 seconds to get your answer. Doesn't that just completely ruin your experience? To understand why this is so insanely dangerous for platforms, we have to look at affective primacy theory. This theory basically states that your emotional responses happen immediately and automatically, way before your brain has time to apply any cognitive logic to a situation. If an ad disrupts your conversational flow, the immediate frustration you feel biases your entire cognitive evaluation of that AI platform. You don't sit there and rationally think, well, the server computing costs are really high. No, you just think, wow, this platform is super annoying, and you disengage. And looking at this evaluation framework reveals something completely counterintuitive about ad intrusiveness. When researchers tested visual and temporal ads, they discovered that short, temporal ads actually frustrate users way more than long ones. Which sounds crazy, right? You would think longer ads equal more frustration. But no. Because they're so brief, short ads lack any real substance and provide zero value to the user. So they're perceived purely as pointless, abrupt interruptions. The negative emotional spike is just immediate and intense.
All right, let's pivot to Section 5, how everyday users profit. While the boardrooms are literally sweating over every single cent, everyday users are completely bypassing these corporate headaches. They are out there monetizing AI-generated visual assets at a staggering rate on marketplaces like Etsy, Fiverr, and Adobe Stock. People are using tools like ImagineArt, typing in simple text prompts, and generating things like intricate mandala coloring pages, minimalist startup logos, digital portraits, even custom tattoo concepts. You don't need to be an illustrator anymore. You just generate high-resolution images, bundle them into digital downloads, and build passive income streams. All while the AI platforms are the ones shouldering those heavy computing costs we talked about earlier.
And the exact same thing is happening with video and audio. Creators are acting as their own one-person production studios. They're producing highly engaging, faceless YouTube shorts, generating photorealistic AI avatars to review products, and creating totally professional text-to-speech voiceovers for client explainers. Think about it. You no longer need a high-end camera, you don't need a recording booth, or a whole team of editors. You literally just need an idea, and you can generate high-value assets to sell to brands and clients all over the world.
Which brings us to our final section, Section 6, the future AI economy.
If we want to synthesize this entire landscape, it really just comes down to this. Making money with AI isn't reserved for coders or corporations anymore. It's for creators with ideas and the right tools. While OpenAI and all the others are losing billions trying to figure out ad placements and complicated subscription tiers, independent creators are out here proving that agility beats massive capital in the digital gold rush. The real value isn't just in owning the AI model, it's in what you can swiftly create and sell using it.
Which leaves us with this final, somewhat provocative thought. The AI giants are eventually going to figure out their monetization. It's going to happen. The ads will come, the tier structures will adapt. But as these AI platforms finally figure out how to profit from you, how will you profit from them? The tools are sitting right there on your desktop. It's time to start building. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. I really hope you found it as fascinating as I did.